The functions f, g, and h are defined as follows. F of x is equal to x squared minus 3. G of x is equal to x plus 5. H of x is equal to 2x minus 1 all over 3. Calculate the value of f of negative 4. Now we know that f of x is equal to x squared minus 3. And so f of a negative 4 just basically means that wherever we see x, we put negative 4. So x is here, so we put negative 4. X is here, so we put negative 4. And so f of a negative 4 is equal to negative 4 squared minus 3. Now what is negative 4 squared? Well, negative 4 squared is negative 4 times negative 4, which is equal to positive 16. So f of a negative 4 is equal to 16 minus 3. Now what is 16 minus 3? Well, 16 minus 3 is 13. So f of negative 4 is equal to 13. Next, we have to calculate the value of g of f of negative 4. And so what this basically is we have two functions, and we have these are two functions. The baby function is f, and the parent function is g. We're going to take f of a negative 1, and we're going to put that answer inside of the function g. Now we're going to take f of negative 4. We're going to take f of negative 4, and we're going to put that answer inside of the function g. Now what is f of negative 4? Well, f of negative 4, as we saw earlier, is 16. And we have to take that, answer, f of negative 4, and put it inside of g. Now what is g? Well, g is x plus 5. And so g of x is an x plus 5. So wherever we see x, we're going to put f of negative 4. So x, instead of putting x, we're going to put f of negative 4, which we have here. And instead of putting f, we put f of negative 4. But what is f of a negative 4? F of negative 4 is simply 16. And so we put 16 here. And so we have 16 plus 5. And so g of f of a negative 4 is equal to 16 plus 5. And 16 plus 5 is definitely 21. So g of f of a negative 4 is equal to 21. And so our answer here is 21. Next, what we have to do is we have to calculate the value of x for which h of x is equal to 7. Now what is h of x? H of x is equal to 7. But what is the function h of x equal to? Well, h of x is equal to 2x minus 1 all over 3. And so h of x is equal to 2x minus 1 all over 3. And we set that equal to 7. Now we put 7 over 1. And so we write this whole number as a fraction. And we cross multiply. So we have 3 times 7. And 3 times 7 is 21. And we have 1 times 2x minus 1. And 1 times 2x minus 1 is simply 2x minus 1. Next, we take negative 1 and we send it over the equal sign. And so negative 1, when we send it over the equal sign, it becomes positive 1. And so we have that 2x is equal to 21 plus 1. And 21 plus 1 is equal to 22. We divide both sides of this equation by 2. So this cancels with that. So we get that x is equal to 22 divided by, so x is equal to 22 divided by 2. And 22 divided by 2 is definitely equal to 11. So x is equal to 11. Next, we have to find in simplified form expressions for f of g of x. Now, here we have the parent function, which is f, and the baby function, which is g. So we're going to take g and put it inside of f. And so that's what we have to do. So f of g of x is equal to, remember, we have to take this baby function, we have to put it inside of f. So wherever we see x, right, in this function, wherever we see x, we're going to put g of x. And so we have f of x, but this is supposed to be, instead of putting x, we put g of x. And so it's equal to x squared minus 3, but no, not x squared minus 3. It's going to be x plus 5, right? Because that's what g is, right? X plus 5 squared minus 3. So instead of putting x, we put g of x, and it's not x squared anymore. It's going to be x plus 5, because that's what g of x is. G of x is equal to x plus 5. So it's x plus 5 squared minus 3. and we simplify. So I'm sorry, and we expand. So we have x plus 5 squared, and x plus 5 squared is x plus 5 times x plus 5. What we do here is we multiply now. So we have x times x, then we have x times 5, then we have 5 times x, then we have 5 times 5. And so let's do that. So x times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 5 is 25. I'm going to put the minus 3 here. Next, we say, okay, what is 5 plus 5? Well, 5 plus 5 is definitely 10. So 5x plus 5x is 10x. And so we have x squared plus 10x is, so we have x squared plus 10x plus 25 minus 3. And what is 25 minus 3? Well, 25 minus 3 is 22. So we have x squared plus 10x plus 22. And that's the answer to our question. Next, we have defined the inverse of h. So we have defined h inverse of x. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we write what h of x is equal to. H of x is equal to, according to this, 2x minus 1 all over 3. Next, we have to set h of x equal to y. So we have that y is equal to 2x minus 1 all over 3. Next, we swap x and y. We swap x and y, so we have x here and y here. And so what that means is we have x over 1 is equal to 2y minus 1 all over 3. Next, we cross multiply. So we have 3 times x and 1 times 2y minus 1. Again, we have 3 times x, and we have 1 times 2y minus 1. And so 3 times x is 3x, and 1 times 2y minus 1 is 2y minus 1. Next, we take the negative 1, we send it over the equal sign, and it was a negative 1. It was a negative 1, but when we send it over the equal sign, it becomes a positive 1. So we have 3x plus 1 is equal to 2y. Next, we divide both sides of this equation by 2. This cancels with that, so we get that y is equal to 3x plus 1 all over 2. That's what y is. Y is equal to 3x plus 1 all over 2. Next, we say, okay, well, what is y? Y is equal to h inverse of x. And so we have h inverse of x is equal to 3x plus 1 all over 2. And that's what h inverse of x is. H inverse of x is equal to 3x plus 1 all over 2. Okay, that brings us to the end of this question and the end of this video. And I'll see you in the next video.